Hey, my name is Hunter Mann, and I am an IB physics student at Sunset High School. I personally enjoy physics. It's one of my favorite science topics, and I'm really interested in this project because I think it's really detrimental to society to have someone not vaccinate their children and endanger the lives of others.
I'm Tomo Hunter. I was interested in this project because one of my friends told me that vaccine can cause autism and wanted to know the truth. I did research and helped make the script.
Hi, my name is Arshia. Throughout the project, I did the editing and I did parts of the research. I am interested in this topic because it involves controversy within the scientific community.
Controversy of vaccine causing autism started in 1998 when Andrew Wakefield and 12 of his colleagues published a case saying that MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine caused autism in young kids. This case got a lot of publicity, which made a lot of people believe vaccine caused autism. The problem with this claim was that Wakefield only looked at 12 subjects, which makes it not as reliable. Right after Wakefield's claim was published, there was a follow-up research done on relationship between vaccine and autism, and it showed that there were no correlation between them. One of the biggest concerns about vaccine was thimerosal. Thimerosal is a chemical that's mainly made from mercury, and parents were hesitant to give it to their kids because mercury is a very poisonous element. But in 2001, most of the child vaccine in U.S. removed thimerosal, but the number of autism still increased. Also in Canada and Denmark, they don't have a thimerosal in their vaccine, but the autism rate still increased, which tells us that thimerosal is not the reason why autism is increasing.
In the United Kingdom, researchers evaluated 498 autistic children born from 1979 through 1992 who were identified by computerized health records from 8 health districts. Although a trend toward increasing autism diagnosis by year of birth was confirmed, no change in the rates of autism diagnosis after the 1987 introduction of MMR vaccine was observed. Further, MMR vaccination rates of autistic children were similar to those of the entire study population. Also, investigators did not observe a clustering of autism diagnosis relative to the time that children received MMR vaccine. Nor did they observe a difference in age at autism diagnosis between those vaccinated and not vaccinated, or between those vaccinated before or after 18 months of age. These authors also found no difference in autism rates among vaccinated and unvaccinated children when they extended their analysis to include a longer time after MMR exposure or a second dose of MMR. In California, researchers compared year-specific MMR vaccination rates of kindergarten students with the yearly autism caseload of the California Department of Development Services during 1980 through 1994. As was observed in the United Kingdom, the increase in the number of autism diagnoses did not correlate with MMR vaccination rates. This piece of evidence has the characteristics of a valid scientific proof because it is based on a study that was done over a long span of time with a reasonable amount of testing participants. It has evidence from different countries that are in different regions of the globe which disproves the claim that vaccines cause autism.
The biggest problem with this myth is that it not only damages the people who are holding out on vaccines, but it damages society as a whole. The first way not being vaccinated hurts people is the fact that it can bring back nearly extinct illnesses to life. For example, through the widespread use of vaccines, smallpox, polio, and measles are either wiped out or on the way to being wiped out. If everyone is vaccinated, then they are not susceptible to these illnesses. This brings out the notion of herd immunity. The general concept of this is simple. If a large group of people are immune to something, then the people who are not immune have a much higher chance of being immune or safe from the disease. This is because they have a significantly smaller chance of being exposed to the disease. This is vital to human adaptation because less and less people will die from diseases that can be easily prevented. The second way it can hurt people is that people will die. This one is obvious, but the hardest to hear. The fact is that things like whooping cough and the measles can be prevented. However, people decide to not vaccinate their children, so kids die every single year from diseases that can be prevented. This poses a significant threat to children who are simply too young to be vaccinated. So by not vaccinating your children, you're putting your children and other children at risk. Parents will always want to do what is best for their children, so it is understandable that they wouldn't want to give something to their children that can cause damage to them. Fortunately for them, vaccines are not damaging to people. The amount of scientific research that has gone into each one of them is astounding. The best way to make sure your children are safe is to vaccinate them from the things that can very well take their lives. The myth makes people believe that it is detrimental to the health of their children. That is why myths like this must be dispelled quickly. These reasons are why it is vital to vaccinate our children and ourselves. In order for the human race to continue adapting and thriving where we are, we need to survive. And in order to survive, we need to protect ourselves in any possible way. Vaccines have a huge impact on society because they are able to prevent some of the most horrific diseases on the planet. Polio, a disease that handicaps people for life, is no longer a problem in our society. It is our civil duty to protect ourselves, our children, and our society from preventable illnesses.